Attachment styles, it can be a little confusing. Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Jantz as a counselor. Attachment styles is just one way of looking at our past. It's never about blame. And as we look towards attachment styles, there is the belief that we can develop a secure attachment style. Now, our final one, we're not only a belief, I see people do it. We're going to talk about the disorganized attachment style. This is number 4. It is the last one we're going to talk about. Now, here's the 4 questions. We always have 4 questions. Here you go. And they start off oddly because you're going to catch this. But number 1 is, no, I'm not worthy of being loved. So if you put that in a true or false, true, I'm not worthy of being loved. Number 2, no, I'm not able to do what I need to do to get the love I need. Now, that's a little confusing. True or false? Can I, in a healthy way, acquire the love that we all need? True or false? Number 3, no, other people are not reliable and trustworthy. By the way, I didn't write these questions. There is the fundamental belief that other people are not trustworthy and not reliable, okay? Number 4, no, other people are not accessible and willing to respond to me when I need them. They're not accessible. People are not accessible, and I don't believe they're going to be available to me. Now, a disorganized person will use whatever strategy they think might work at any given time, bouncing around to strategy. In other words, strategy could be manipulation, trying anything at all to develop some sort of relational presence or grounding. Okay, so the word borderline might come to your mind. Borderline is a attachment style. One feature of it is a disorganized attachment style where the emotions rule. And from day to day, every day can be quite chaotic. Now, to the true disorganized attachment style, nobody is trustworthy. Nobody. And here's some statements that go along with this style. My feelings are confusing to me, so I'm not going to feel them. My feelings are confusing to me, so I'm not going to feel them. Number 2, my feelings are too intense and they're overwhelming. If I was to allow myself to feel those, I would be overwhelmed. It'd be totally overwhelming. All right. Now, here's another one to look at. I feel torn between wanting to be close to others and wanting to pull away. Okay. It's that old come close. No, go away. I need you. No, go away. Okay. My partner complains that sometimes I'm needy and clingy and other times I'm distant and aloof. Those extremes that can, this is the confusing one because the disorganized sense of self, there's not a solid sense of self. So in a word, things will be chaotic. Other people can really hurt me if I allow them to get close. So I've got a protection all around me, that invisible shield. And I will live a life of chaos and crisis, a life of chaos and crisis. And a moment of calm is distrusted. Something's going to happen. I'm hypervigilant. The next shoe is going to drop. And normal is chaotic versus healthy. So I've gone through these really quick, and I purposely have divided this up into 4 segments because it can be a little confusing, and we don't want to just see the world through attachment styles, but it can help us understand where do I fit and what do I need to do next. Or if I'm living with somebody and I'm seeing this and we're looking for patterns, this is not just one tough day or a couple tough days. I'm looking for life patterns. So attachment experiences are, in closing, they're integral to our ability to form and maintain relationships. Here are the original 4 questions. Am I worthy of being loved? Secure attachment says, yes, I am worthy. Number 2, Am I able to do what I need to get the love I need? I add the qualifier without manipulation and in a healthy way. Can I form, another way to look at that, can I form relationships and healthy and close relationships that are healthy and have a healthy sense of intimacy and closeness, and also be sensitive and have empathy towards the needs of others? Number 3, are people reliable and trustworthy? The secure attachment says generally people are. And importantly, I know who to trust. I have what's called discernment. I can discern pretty good people's character. We all get snookered sometimes, but general sense of discernment. And I also probably, if from a faith perspective, I'm prayerful. I ask God to guide me. I have an optimism and a hope about my future because of my faith, or my faith believes, and a sense that I know that God loves me. So that's a part of it. This is the final question in review. Are other people accessible and willing to respond to me when I need them? Yes, and I know who to turn to. I have 3 to 5 close intimates in my life, and they are people in my life that are I can count on. They're going to tell me the truth. They're going to be there for me. So, all right. And you may have answered 3 or yes on 3 of those, and maybe this 4th one you feel like, I'm still working on it. Here's, as a child or a teenager, how would I have answered these questions? And as a adult now, how do I answer them? Many times as we're going through and we've grown, and this is a measure of personal growth, we do resolve trauma. We do deal with deep-seated hurts and betrayals and unmet emotional needs, and we are living differently. So I'm going to say that identify when a shift occurred and why. What happened? Here's a key. A lot of times in our life, when we fully work through forgiveness of ourselves, forgiveness of those who have injured us, forgiveness of significant trauma, as we work through forgiveness, other pieces of attachment come into place. And we move from a spirit of blame to having empathy, understanding, and deepened personal character versus resentment and bitterness. So as we look at this, yes, attachment style can change and develop. And one of the recommendations, I did a book called Healing the Scars of Emotional Abuse. You may notice on these brief podcasts, I don't always talk about every book I do, but this one really is appropriate. Healing the Scars of Emotional Abuse, because we want to set up a pattern. What else do I need to do to have healing in my past so that I can live healthy in my present and really have the relationships that I desire? Another block, besides I mentioned forgiveness or unforgiveness, is that if I've developed significant addictions in my life, food, digital, sex, alcohol, gambling, if I've developed addictions, that's a way of processing emotions, and that will rob me of secure attachments. I remember the gal who told me, Dr. Jantz, I would rather be intimate with food than I would with people. It's safer. So that's the false security that an addiction gives us, a false comfort. So we must deal with to build healthy attachments, secure attachment in our life, unforgiveness, self and others, purge ourselves and deal with addiction if we have addiction in our life. And finally, we've got to place ourselves in relationships where we can practice the relationship skills. So, and redevelop trust, redevelop relationships. So look for the 3 deadly emotions: anger, another word for anger could be hurt; fear, another word for fear could be anxiety; Addiction brings anxiety. And then look for guilt or shame. Do I have a damaged sense of self that I feel like I'm totally unworthy? Those are the things that have to be dealt with. So forgiveness or unforgiveness, addiction, potential addiction issues, and dealing with the three deadly emotions, anger, fear, and guilt in my life, so that I can set myself up for a pattern, reestablishing a pattern of secure attachments in my relationships. And I can tell you, 40 years of working with folks and seeing this at the center, a place of hope. Yes, there is hope. And yes, we can rebuild a painful past and build relationships in our life that are radically different than the past. There is hope.